Hello! So in this video I'll be showing you how to install Geant4 onto Ubuntu, and the steps I'm going to show you here will be very similar regardless of what Linux distro you use, assuming it's a mainstream distro. So if you use some other Debian slash Ubuntu like distro, or Red Hat like distro like Arma or some SUSE, steps are pretty much going to be the same, except instead of doing sudo app get install, you would do something like sudo yum install, like if you're doing Red Hat Linux. So very similar steps. It's pretty much just how you install the packages. And just to be clear, I'm running this Ubuntu installation on a virtual machine on Windows, and what I would normally do is just use the built-in Windows Sub Linux system, or WSL, on Windows, which I personally find it's simpler and faster than using a virtual machine, such as using VMware or using VirtualBox. But just to be a bit universal, the steps will be same whether it's a Mac or Windows. Linux, it's easy to install Geant4, so you don't really need to worry about a virtual machine. And so the first thing I'm going to do is just to launch terminal, where we'll do all the commands. I'll just snap that to the left. Now, in more recent years, well, I say like last 10 years or so, installing Geant4 has become more and more simpler. There's lots of documentation online, lots of support. There's a million videos on YouTube showing you how to install it. But with AI, installing has become even easier. So what I normally do, if it's a different distro than my regular installation distro, you just launch up ChatGPT and just say, create the installation commands to install the dependencies for Geant4 on a Ubuntu 24 installation. And hopefully I didn't make too many crazy typos trying to talk and speak. So here we have got all the dependencies that it thinks we'll need. Now, as we'll see, if it misses any, we'll find out. So let's just go back to terminal, which just find it here. Oh, it's just hidden background. So let's just highlight all that, and let's just paste it in straight away. And you can see the first command they do is sudo app update, so just updating all so that the repositories that it's pulling from are up to date, so you don't getting some more like obsolete version of like cmake or compiler. So let's just paste that into terminal and just press enter, and just put in your admin or sudo password, and just wait a while. And I might just pause it here and restart once it's finished. Okay, so that took about a minute or two to install all those dependencies. And if you want to check that something is installed, let's say for cmake, for instance, you can just type in cmake, then go dash dash, then go version, and if it's installed, you should get the version printed out there. And similar, like if you want to check the compiler, G++, you can go dash dash version and check which version you've got installed on your system there. So now let's go to the Geant4 part itself. So what I like to do is normally make it in a software directory. So if we just print our working directory here, we can see I'm just in my home directory here. So what I like to do is go to home, and I like to use a general software directory. What do I I like a lowercase s. So, let's just go sudo since we're outside of our just regular user profile. So I need to go sudo, and sorry, if we go ls now, then we'll see this software directory is created. And so what we now need to do is to download Geant4. So let's go Geant4, and let's go to here. Let's go Geant4 download. So the latest is 11.3 patch 2. So what you can do is you can just press one of the GUIs here, or if you like, you can just copy the link, and hopefully I press the right one because sometimes it tricks me. So if we just go wget, then we can just download the link directly. If you just press the downloads, and then it'll probably just go to your download directory by default, but since I want to just do it in the software directory, I'll just do wget, and let's just wait for that. Right. Right. Got to do sudo because, and let's go into software while at it. So let's just redo that command using arrow up and go sudo wget, and this shouldn't take too long. It's only how many megs? Okay, great. So if I just go ls, we can now see the tar.gz, and so what we want to do is extract that. So let's just go tar xfz for extract file zipped. I think that's vaguely what xfz stands for, and just give it the input. Not used to logging in as non-root, so let's do that again with sudo, and if we ls, we can now see this extracted Geant4 directory here. So what we need to do to install, well, the typical way to install Geant4 is to create a build directory and an install directory. So let's just go sudo make directory Geant4 v11, and just due to habit, I usually go Geant4.11.2 and put a patch there. Just, it's my personal thing. You can just type whatever you want to give it. So we'll create our build directory there, and similarly we'll make a install directory. Install. And so if we again go ls, we can now see these two directories, and what we want to do is just cd into the build directory 11.3 build. And now that we've done that, what we want to do is do cmake. So what the cmaking will do is pretty much, so if we just let's just ls the Geant4 v11. So what we're looking at in this Geant4-v11.3.2 directory is the Geant4 source code. So what we need to install it is we need to link all this source code and compile the various classes, and we do that with cmake, which we installed before in our list of Geant4 dependencies. And the command for cmake for like a typical install is, I never memorize it off by heart, so I prepared a installation thing just so because I always forget what my regular options are. So here I've just got a typical Geant4 options installation. I just copied it from one of my past histories. So here we've got a few options. This first cmake install, it's this just specifies where the actual installation will be performed, and then these here, so with Geant4 use OpenGL, that's just a visualization option, so it lets you visualize your simulations. And so if you don't have one of these visualization options, you won't be able to visualize your geometry. You'll be able to run it, but you just can't visualize your geometry with the built-in visualization code. So that's what this X11 option does here, and similarly is Qt, and Qt is, I would say, a slightly more advanced option than just the default or the more basic X11. Allows you to have a more interactive visualization of the geometry. You get to drag and rotate with your mouse instead of just typing commands to rotate the geometry, zoom in, stuff like that. So that's what that Qt geometry is. Then this this third command here, multi-thread on. This just builds Geant4 with multi-thread enabled, and it doesn't hurt if you just want to run in single thread mode. This installing it with multi-threaded won't be detrimental, but if you don't have it turned on, then you can't run multi-threaded. So always good to have it enabled. In fact, I think it's probably enabled by default, but just because I'm used to before it existed, so when it came out, just had to specify it. And then this option here, Geant4 install data on. So Geant4 relies on lots of different libraries like nuclear cross sections and stopping power tables. And when you download Geant4 from the website, it's just a small, I don't know, like a few megabytes, like 30 or so megabytes, the TIGZ. And a reason why it's so small is because it doesn't include all these data libraries. So what you need to do is add the libraries which are relevant to you, and because different users have different needs of Geant4, they don't just have all the libraries included by default. But when you do this on, it just installs the most common ones. But outside this command, if you wanted to use some other like specific libraries, you have to install them manually. And then this xpack off, this is just some a clash, sort of a safety thing I always do, because depending on the system you can get this OS clash, so I just tell it to go off so there isn't a clash between Geant4's built-in expat and the OS's expat. So yeah, that's just a sort of a safety command. So what I'll do before I just paste this in is, normally I put zeros in, but I was a bit off the ball. And what's this version? Patch 2. So that should be everything. Now, if ChatGPT was good, then hopefully all these work as is. So if we go run this, okay, we see that it didn't install the Qt cmake. So often all you need to do, and this has made installation so much easier. I normally just get lazy and just paste into ChatGPT, then just tells you the commands to and since we've already done the update, that's superfluous to do. And so, usually, or sometimes when it's a niche issue that just takes it would take like ages of googling, but with the AI, it just made installation so much easier. And hopefully it won't make me a liar. So if we try this command again, and just to be safe, I'll just clear everything in this directory. And again, the sudo. So it's all clear now. So let's just do the cmake command again. Now that the Qt has been installed, hopefully. So that's looking more promising. Great. So what this cmake command has done, and maybe I'll just drop Firefox for the moment, is it's just create all these options for the build. So if we go ls, we'll see all these files, and these have been created with this cmake command. It's linked all the source code from that Geant4 download we did and extracted, and it's just created all the options it needs to install it. So now that we've linked it all together with cmake, like all the source files, now we can do the actual compilation or installation, if you like. So what we do is use the make command, which is a cmake command. If you're old school and use using the GNU, then it'd be saying like gmake, but because we're using cmake, it's just make. And then what you do is go -j and specify how many CPU threads you want to use. So if you're doing like some HPC environment, and if they've got limits, you might want to be safe and just do one. It'll take a long time, but that's safe. But so this -j command's just letting you choose how many threads you want to do. For this virtual machine, I gave it 16 threads, so I'll just give it the full since nothing else will be using it. And what we got here is a sudo, and I should have just done a perpetual sudo, but that's on me. So I might give this a slight pause and then just come back once it's complete. Actually, yeah, I'll just pause it and okay, just starting it just before it ends. So it takes quite a while depending on your CPU and how many threads you give it to compile. So and if you do it on just a single thread, it'll be taking quite a while. So make sure you've got some time to do something else while you wait for it to install. Though this only took like 2 minutes, but still. So you've installed Geant4. Congratulations. So looking at the time of this video, I'll probably just stop it here, and next I'll show you how to install root, which is a data toolkit which saves things in binary format, so good for saving space and quick processing. And so the installation of root is optional, but Geant4 is tightly integrated with root just due to historical reasons. So in the next video, I'll just show you how to install root if you want to. But for now, that's the installation of Geant4.